Hello kiddies, shrunk Spurt here, and welcome to a new, slightly revamped version of TechSpurt Weekly. TechSpurt Weekly 2.0, if you will, but I won't, because that sounds kind of wank. And for the three fans of the old TechSpurt Weekly format, don't soil yourselves. It's basically the same load of sweary bollocks about shiny stuff as it always was, just with a wee bit more structure to actually fool people into thinking it's a legit online show, rather than the incomprehensible ramblings of an incorrigible booze hound with an infeasibly shiny head and a lingering stench like James Corden's armpit rag. We'll kick off with a look at some of this week's tech news and rumours, followed by Uncle Spurt's Wee One, a mini review of something I didn't get around to doing an actual in-depth review of because of all that time spent drinking, punching walls and screaming at a god I don't believe in. And of course, as always, we'll finish with a lovely slice of viewer comments, because that's how much I hate myself. And I also had a proper good think about producing, a really good professional sounding opening theme tune to replace the frankly bollocks one that I've used for the past 232 episodes. And then I did the whole drinking, screaming thing again and never bothered. TechSpurt Weekly! Now these days, proper compact smartphones are rarer than a PE teacher who isn't a complete sadist. So far in 2025, we've had some sort of mini-ish blowers in the Xiaomi 15 and Samsung's Galaxy S25, but even these relatively dinky delights are still over 6 inches, and boy do I catch some flack in the comments when I refer to them as mini smartphones. Which is fair, because I remember back in the day referring to the HTC Titan as stupidly oversized at a whopping great 4.7 inches. And yes, as well as the Xiaomi and Samsung efforts, there's also the iPhone 16e, but frankly I'd rather have a furious weasel stuffed into my pants than that atrocity. Anyway, I've already got the butthurt Apple fanboys circling with their pitchforks after my 16e review, so that's all I'll say on that matter. But one of my favourite smartphones of 2025 so far is the OnePlus 13, despite the fact it's another 6.8 inch pocket stretcher. In fact, one of the only ways you can improve it is by shrinking it a bit, so I could actually use it one-handed while checking out your mum's Instagram. So great news then kiddies, because apparently OnePlus could be launching an all-new, slightly squashed version of the OnePlus 13 in the next month or so, presumably starting in China and then hopefully spaffing it out globally. It's all online speculation right now, of course, fueled by a handful of typically leaky blokes. But if these rumours turn out not to be an overflown basket of bowel evacuations, then the OnePlus 13 mini should sport a 6.3 inch form factor, so a wee bit smaller than that Xiaomi 15. It's said to be powered by the same Qualcomm chipset as the regular OnePlus 13, namely the Snapdragon 8 Elite. A chipset so beefy it makes vegans explode on contact. So despite the dinkier dimensions, this more compact blower should effortlessly handle the likes of Wuthering Waves and other memory snaffling games. Apparently the camera will be a bit more subdued compared with the triple lens arrangement of the original OnePlus 13, just 2 lenses in total now, including a 50meg main shooter and a 50meg portrait style snapper with 2x optical zoom and a horizontal arrangement just like the Pixel 9a. There's also a lot of online winking and nudging that the OnePlus 13 mini could sport the same 6000 mAh battery capacity as the full-sized bugger, which seems kind of unlikely, but then it could be possible thanks to that reduced camera arrangement, which should free up some internal space. And of course, as always, expect a tasty bit of fast charge action. The OnePlus 13 mini will allegedly have a crispy 1.5K OLED screen slapped on the front, so pretty much a match for what you got on that Xiaomi 15, as well as the usual alert slider shenanigans on the side. And so far that's all we think we know about the OnePlus 13 mini. I'll tell you what, I'm really hoping that these rumours don't turn out to be total trouser. Because yeah, from the sound of it, this OnePlus 13 mini is saucier than a tin of Heinz and has got me absolutely frothing at every orifice. But are you as frothy as your Uncle Spurt right now? Well, definitely let us know your general froth levels down in the comments below. And of course, this week, Google finally officially unveiled its own fresh, smallish smartphone, the Pixel 9a. Although, as this had already leaked more than a cardboard catheter over the past several months, this was altogether not particularly surprising. The Pixel 9a will be released imminently for £499 here in Blighty. And Google's full reviews embargo lifts next Tuesday, so maybe swing on by then, come pay your Uncle Spurt a visit. I'll have something tasty for you to suck on. No, that's completely not good. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that one. I suddenly feel like a deviant with a big old scraggy beard and a baseball cap leaning out of the window of a van trying to lure you inside with bags of Haribo. So moving swiftly on before this all-new TechSpurt Weekly gets cancelled after a single episode. Now it's time for my mini review of the week. Uncle Spurt's Wee One. It's a short review, not his penis. And this week's Wee One is the Huawei FreeArc True Wireless Earbuds. Now the Huawei FreeArc buds sport an open ear design to keep you aware of your surroundings, and they won't completely muller your savings, costing just 99 quid. As well as this highly exciting grey colour, you can also grab the FreeArcs in black or a kind of funky neon green. Despite their size, they weigh just 8.3 grams, so they're super comfy to slap on your lugs all day long. And it's a proper secure fit, even if you're jiggling about all over the place, for instance, down the gym, or just having a random panic attack. It's probably quite obvious which one I'm more likely to do. They're also IP57 water and dust resistant, so absolutely no worries if you get caught in a thundery downpour or you're just incredibly sweaty. Although the case is not, so you might want to slip that into a sandwich bag or something. The dual antenna design works well over distance, so great news if you want to leave your phone in the gym locker while you're pumping iron. While the open ear design helps to keep you aware of your surroundings, which is good news if you're doing a bit of jogging so you don't get absolutely mullered by a double-decker bus. Perhaps not so good in the gym because of course you'll be able to hear all the bros grunting with satisfaction. And you've got reduced sound leakage here on the Huawei FreeArcs thanks to some very clever ass sounding reverse elimination waves. Got no bloody clue what it is, but it certainly does its job. I'm absolutely blasting some metal music right now. Tis but a faint murmur. And Huawei has boosted the dynamic bass algorithm here as well, so you've got a decent bassy response. Certainly for a pair of open-ear buds. And the only codec support is SBC and AAC, basically, but it doesn't really matter because again with open-ear buds the finer details of high-res audio would be lost somewhere in the ether. And the battery life is really ruddy good as well. They'll go for a solid 7 hours before they need to be bunged back in the admittedly quite chunky case, and then that can give you about 3 full recharges before the case itself needs to be plugged in as well. And that, my lovelies, is my mini review of the Huawei FreeArc open-ear buds. Now back to that gormless bald for the rest of the show. Yeah, thanks me. And now it's time for the part of the show that inexplicably made the cut for version 2. It's viewer comments. Viewer comments.
I didn't mean to hurt you.
Alright, let's kick off this viewer comments with a bit of Njaffs, who says, for a while there I thought you were missing an arm. What? Oh, I see. I was waving my left arm about loads and my right arm was conspicuously out of shot. Too much self-abuse, that's what that is. I got carried away watching your mum's latest upload and fractured my forearm in 5 places. I had no choice but to amputate. Samurai Lemon X18 says, haven't heard anyone call it Blue Wicked in a long time. Yeah, thankfully I haven't felt the need to order one in quite some time either. 2 bottles of Blue Wicked and a bag of your finest nuts if you please, barkeep. And we used to drink loads of them back when I was like 16, because of course it used to be like £1 a bottle, happy hour or whatever. The old Sunderland special, but yeah, these days I'm guessing it's like £8 a pop or something. MCNY7IW says, although the reviews are generally good, that's very kind, the amount of inappropriate content is staggering. I have heard the words genitals too many times in this channel. I am unsubscribing. Oh dear. This reviewer seems unable to keep tech reviews PG-13. Once is fine, twice may be okay, multiple times in one video. Come on, mate. First of all, I've probably said the word genitals once or twice in the whole of 2025. 3 times now, thanks to you. I'm far, far fonder of a cock, knob, wang, party sausage, or even the occasional dick. Second, have you actually seen what they get away with in a PG-13 these days? Because it's way worse than anything I chuck in any of these crappy videos. So this is from the official ratings board right here. A PG-13 film can have intense violence, brief strong language, partial nudity, and drug use. So not only could I chat about genitals as much as I like, and believe me, I like, but I could actually do so while repeatedly punching someone in the face, waggling my arse at the camera, and smoking a whole pile of crack. Lots of heartwarming messages about my broken pussy as well. So Dan Pajamas says, sorry to hear about the cat's accident. Fingers crossed for a speedy recovery. Pete Warner says, lots of love to your cat. David Ashmore says, best wishes for your cat's recovery. And Greybone Gasboard says, bless the wee cat. I have 5 strays and rescue cats that have adopted me. You may live in Techspurt Towers, whereas I live in a bloody cat hotel. A huge thank you everyone for your lovely messages. The great news is the vet says he's healing up nicely, although the fuzzy wee twat is completely refusing to take any of his pills, of course. I even bought one of those pill syringe things where you're just supposed to basically prise open their mouth and then lovingly drop the pill down their throat, nice and easy. I swear to God, I might as well have been attempting to braid a lion's mane. I almost had my friggin' jugular torn out. Arola says, didn't Sony have a clip-on camera lens thing for Xperia phones over a decade ago? One that wasn't a concept you could actually buy? Or is my memory fecked by the ravages of middle-aged brain fog and decades of LDB? Good news, Arola, you're not having an aneurysm or anything, mate. Sony did indeed have a detachable camera lens thing which you could clip onto the back end of an Xperia smartphone. It didn't actually attach to the phone using pogo pins or anything though. I believe it was just Bluetooth and actually had its own built-in battery. And yeah, that thing was bloody great. I really did like it a lot. So here's hoping that Xiaomi actually brings out a proper retail version of its own slap-on lens, because yeah, I think it's got real potential. Will Rivera says, whose voice narrated the Xiaomi lens bit? Yeah, sorry, that was a wee bit jarring, wasn't it? Oh, and this spooge-worthy concept camera lens which slaps on the back of a phone using the inexplicable signs of magnets.
This 35mm model uses pogo pins for power drawn from your smartphone's battery.
That is actually still me, but I just recorded that particular VO bit in a hotel room in Barcelona after perhaps a few too many strays the night before, and so I was sounding rougher than a badger's ball bag. And it certainly didn't help that that hotel room echoed more than your... So I basically had to record that bit with my duvet pulled right over my head. And that hotel room was already proper hot, so I was sweating buckets. My face was wetter than your... I should probably cut that bit out, actually, in case anyone of a sensitive disposition is watching again. Referring to the slightly dodgy Tesla Powerwall that I had installed, Mythic Sun says, oh nice, they released the popcorn maker update. Yeah, I am wondering if Elon himself has possibly remotely activated the self-destruct feature after I ripped the piss a bit. He's a sensitive wee sausage, bless his blackened wee heart. Jed Bullet says, imagine that was your car when driving it. The problem with that is I'd have to imagine driving a Tesla and then I might inadvertently top myself. Richard Noble says, classic photo bombing on Basil's review on TechEdit. Also proof that you do actually socialise with some proper tech geeks and drag them down to your level. Yeah, Basil is just the sweetest dude on the planet. He even pretends to laugh at all my god-awful puns. Definitely go give TechEdit a like and a subscribe and all that YouTube toss if you haven't done already, because great channel, and unlike me, Basil actually knows stuff about things. Kane Nova says, well, we're free ARC review anytime soon. Well, hopefully you didn't just skip straight to viewer comments and miss that bit. Slonyu Plur says, just to refresh your memory, can you tell us on the next Techspurt Weekly, where do you get your wallpapers from? For you, sir / madam, and as a massive apology for completely f***ing up your username, here you go. Wall.alphacoders.com, wall.alphacoders.com, that's where my wallpapers come from, wall.alphacoders.com. Really running out of time, so better make these the last couple for the week. Baz Anime says, good day mate, what's happened to Motorola's 30 phones a year? Oh, just you wait, buddy. I can't really see anything specific right now because of embargoes, NDAs, etc, but there are some major Moto-shaped rumblings in the works. Possibly the next sort of month or so you might see a bit more there. Wink wink, grope grope. And Phil G says, you're up to 1.25 million subscribers, got to be worth another fancy outfit. Baby, look, I have literally one suit and I've been smashing far too many pork scratch and sandwiches lately, so I'm never going to fit into that twat ever again. But I suppose using the genius of video editing, I can just kind of re-edit the previous video to make it look like a 1.25 million celebration. 1.25 million subscribers, huzzah! Just maybe completely ignore the fact that that was shot in my old studio in a completely different house. Somewhat ruins the illusion. Anyway, a massive thank you to everyone who commented last week. It wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago because I had the iPhone atrocity go live last Friday. Any questions, remarks, etc. whatsoever, please do tap them in the comments box below. We'll smash away through as many of those as possible next week. And speaking of next week, what the f is next week? Well, the Poco X7 series officially launching on the 27th, even though already loads of basic unboxings and stuff have spaffed out all over YouTube. Gotta love a multi-stage embargo, great stuff. But your Uncle Spurt will have some hot ultra action for you next week on that 27th. And of course the Pixel 9a, as I say, already has launched, but the reviews embargo lifts on Tuesday. So again, come back on Tuesday, your Uncle Spurt will sort you out. Again, sounds a little bit too pervy. Your Uncle Spurt will sort you out with some videos on the Pixel 9a and nothing dodgy. Maybe save that one for the Patreons. In the meantime, as always, a massive thanks for watching this shower of slightly tweaked, possibly improved, possibly slightly worse shit. And please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a ruddy, ridiculously good weekend. Cheers, everybody. Love you.